Welcome to your broker admin, where we dive into the latest review outcomes, share practical tips in our Humpday helpers, and feature special industry guest interviews to help you stay on top of the game. Whether you're flying solo or part of a team, we're here to help you streamline your processes and work smarter, not harder.
Well, here we are, poised, prepared, and ready for another episode of Your Broker Admin. But before we get episode 71 underway, here's your weekly bonus history bite. On this day in history, April the 29th, we've got a couple of vastly contrasting events. In 1852, the first edition of Peter Roget's Thesaurus was published in Britain and has never been out of print since. Now there's some enduring longevity for you. And in 1945, conscientious objector Desmond Doss saved 75 wounded soldiers during the Battle of Okinawa at Hacksaw Ridge. A remarkably extraordinary and genuinely heroic act later depicted in the Oscar-winning film of the same name. Moving into the present day, we'll kick things off with the reviews wrap-up, covering the week ending the 24th of April 2026. Volumes may have been lower, but the outcomes were still sturdy, with interest savings, further new lending opportunities, and more of those all-important client conversations. Then we'll move into this week's Humpday Helper, where I share an important update around CBA applications. I'm Rob Cummings, thanks for tuning in, and let's get this week's episode into motion. Righto then, in this week's reviews wrap-up, we look at outcomes from loan reviews completed during the week ending the 24th of April 2026. A solid result this week with $4,500 in interest savings from only 4 reviews that were successful in obtaining a reduction, plus another 4 lending opportunities totaling almost $2 million again, and some more intriguing client conversations. There was one standout savings result for a MyState customer where we obtained a 0.7% discount on their loan, giving them a $3,500 interest saving. This was actually a bit of a strange one really. An owner-occupied rate starting at 6.94 before our review, which didn't appear to have any particular vagaries, for example, high LVR or anything like that. In fact, the current LVR is 65%, so to be offered a rate of 6.24% on a loan over $500,000 was quite baffling. Needless to say, that was one of our 4 lending opportunities with the clients keen to explore other options. Speaking of new opportunities, in addition to the one just mentioned, the other 3 lending opportunities were an internal refinance of approximately $220,000 for an ING customer following a poor rate review outcome on an expired fixed rate. The best OO rate ING was prepared to offer was 6.19%. Then there was a new purchase for existing clients who have decided they want to upgrade their home but keep their current one as an investment property. The expected price range for the property to be purchased is in the range 1.2 to 1.25 million. And then another internal refinance of around $285,000 following a poor review outcome with Suncorp, as they won't reprice loans under $500,000. It's not a huge loan, but still worthy of a reasonable rate. Now for the client conversations. This week's conversations are firstly with another ANZ customer, where they have a single owner-occupied loan which only settled last year, so this is their first review. Broker is one that we have been working for a little while now. The rate review was completed with a no change result, despite escalation. Amazingly, the value of the property has jumped up $150,000 from when they purchased it just 12 months ago. We spoke with the client and advised a no change result. Discussion was then had about the significant property increase in the last year. They actually seemed quite embarrassed by it, stated it's the same thing happening here that happened in the UK. Loves the area where they are and indicated the lender is okay. They did ask, however, what would need to be done if a far better rate was found. We went through the general process with them. They then asked about switching costs. They are happy enough, however, with the lender not to act on it, but would be guided by the broker if a significantly better rate was available. They really appreciated the review and the call. Loves working with their broker. The second one was with a client who has their loan through CBA. The loan settled in 2023 when the client purchased their home. The property has risen some $140,000 in that time. They are on a basic product with CBA with the current owner-occupied rate at 6.19%. Our pricing review yielded no reduction in the rate, mainly because of the type of loan product. We rang and spoke with the client to confirm that we completed the pricing review and the outcome. The client let us know that they are employed as a workshop supervisor at their work and was getting well paid. Apparently they'd spoken with the broker recently about getting funds out to do the front fence, etc., but have decided against it. They've spoken with the builder they know, who advised that because their house was double brick, it will continue to crack and the money spent on it they won't get back. So, maybe just clean it up a bit and upgrade into a new property next year. They stated that they loved receiving the call and the service being provided. Didn't have any questions or issues with the loan or CBA, and further commented that they thought the broker is pretty good. And so, another week of steady outcomes, nothing overly dramatic, but a good reminder of how these reviews play out in the real world. Some wins, some frustrations, and plenty of conversations sitting just below the surface. Because it's not always about the immediate result. Sometimes it's just about being there, having the conversation, and putting yourself in the position to act when the timing is right. That's where the next opportunity usually comes from. This week's Humpday Helper number 176 is a quick update to advise that as of yesterday, the 28th of April, the use of NextGen's Access Seeker in ApplyOnline is now mandatory for CBA applications. Access Seeker provides the following benefits for loan applications. It provides you with a comparison of credit reporting liability data to what's in your application. You then have an option to adjust any anomalies in AOL if deemed necessary. Also, it will provide you with a verified badge for liabilities where they match the Access Seeker report exactly. The good news is that there is no cost to the brokers or clients for this service. I am somewhat intrigued though that this check is done at the AOL stage of the process, which is kind of the last phase before submission to the lender. Normally, I would suspect that most brokers would have completed a credit report as part of their own application assessment and prior to producing their compliance documents for sign-off by the client. Also, some of the aggregator compliance teams expect the data in AOL to marry up exactly to what's in the client fact find and compliance documents. So, what happens if you start making changes to client data in AOL after the client has signed off the compliance documents?
Thanks for listening to your broker admin. If you've got feedback, questions, or a topic you'd like covered on the show, you can now send it through via our Contact the Show page. The link is in the episode notes. If the link's not clickable in your player, just copy it from the show notes or head to the episode description on your phone. A rating on Apple Podcasts, a review on Podchaser, or a follow on Spotify all help the show reach the people it's built for. This has been your broker admin, for those who like their process neat.